Well, Lamar Jackson got a lot of credit down the stretch, and I think rightfully so. The real reason this Ravens team is scary is their defense. They've seemingly had one of the best defenses in the league since the Baltimore Ravens have even been a thing. They've always had a great defense, and one of the real ways they're able to beat you is by stopping the run. And one of their best run stoppers isn't anyone on the line itself, but it's Eric Weddle. He's about as good of a run-stopping safety as it gets, and I want to show a few plays of what makes him so effective. On this play, Los Angeles is going to have their center and left guard double team a Ravens nose tackle, and then their left guard is going to move up to block a linebacker. They're also going to have their right tackle block another lineman, and they're going to move up their tight end to block another linebacker. They can then send their fullback up to block a Baltimore edge rusher, and this typically would leave one Baltimore Raven still unblocked. However, they're going to pull a tight end over to the right side of the screen, which is going to take care of him. This means that the next nearest unblocked Raven is going to be way out of the play. Meaning if everyone makes their blocks well, this should be a huge run for the Chargers. And that's really exactly what happens. As you see, so far, everyone's making their blocks well. But look at where Weddle is. He's simply staying where he has to be. At this point, it's basically doomsday scenario for Baltimore. The sole goal is to not allow a touchdown. That's why Weddle is in perfect position here. Because if Gordon breaks to the outside, then Weddle can still have time to run over and try to make a play. However, if Gordon were to cut in, Weddle would now be in perfect position to make a tackle. Since Gordon does break to the outside, now Weddle does have time to get over. But as you see here, there is a Charger that could still make a block. So if Weddle runs straight towards Gordon, then that Charger could just block him out of the way and it's going to be a touchdown. So instead what Weddle's going to do is simply push the Charger who's ahead of him, who's already blocking another Raven, so that way he can get over to the halfback. This allows him to get past that block and get the Gordon, stopping him just short of getting a touchdown. It still ended up being a bad play for Baltimore as a whole, but that wasn't Weddle's fault. I mean, after all, the position Weddle plays is safety, and really that's his job on this play, is to just beat a safety. Beat a guy who doesn't allow a touchdown on this play, and that's what he did, and it was a good play by him. But let's get into some actual good plays by not just by him, but plays by the Baltimore Ravens as a whole. The Chargers are going to have their center move up to block a linebacker, and they're going to have their right guard and right tackle double team an interior lineman, and then one of them is going to move up to block a linebacker. They're also going to have their tight end block an edge rusher, and they're going to have a receiver move up to block Weddle. If this play works perfectly, there should be a huge gap for Eckler to move up and gain some yards. The only guy in that area is Weddle, and he's going to have a guy about to block him, so this could be a good play for the Chargers. However, look at how good of a job Weddle does of staying in that gap. He bounces off Keenan Allen with ease and is able to make a tackle on Austin Eckler. While having a safety that can stop the run can be a huge advantage, one of the problems with having a safety that's often focused on stopping the run is it can create problems in play action. Like on this play, for example, it's going to be a play action to the left side of the screen, and then Rivers is actually going to cut to the right side of the screen. If you take a look at Keenan Allen, he's going to first start to fake as though he's running to the left side of the screen, and then cut to the right side of the screen. Weddle's the guy to watch here, as he's going to be in charge of guarding Keenan Allen. So at first, when Allen runs to the left side of the screen, Weddle is following him to that side of the screen. As you see now, Allen is in great position. He's already a couple of steps to the right of Eric Weddle, and since he knows it's going to be a play action, he can cut before Weddle can, and he should be in great position to make a catch. However, look at how good of a job Weddle does of realizing what happens and quickly getting back over to the right side of the screen. He's able to get back over to the right side of the screen and make a tackle on Allen, even though it was a great route by Allen. This was a play actually ran very well by the Chargers, but Eric Weddle was just a little bit better. He's been in the league for a while, and he's a very smart player, so he's very capable of making plays. On a play like this, for example, it's an obvious running situation. It's a tied game where Baltimore only has one timeout left, and it's only 38 seconds left in the game. So anyone who's ever played a game of Madden could tell you, obviously the strategy right now is to run the ball twice, kill the timeout in the first one, then kill the rest of the clock with the second one, then take a timeout and kick a game-winning field goal. So it's clear it's going to be a run, but that doesn't mean you know exactly where the run is going to be. It's going to end up being a run to the right side of the screen, and the Chiefs are going to have their left guard and left tackle double team that Ravens interior lineman, and then one of them is going to move up to block a linebacker. They're also going to have a tight end block a Ravens edge rusher, and they're going to send a receiver out to block a defensive back on that edge. Now you're going to want to take a look at Demetrius Harris. He's in motion to the right side of the screen, and he's actually going to be double teaming that Raven edge rusher. They're going to actually leave Clark unblocked, even though it's going to be a run in that direction, as he's about 10 yards further back, and they're just going to try to take 5 yards or so on this play. However, look at Weddle here. Because Kansas City moved the guy over to the right side of the screen, they know that it's probably now going to be a run to that side of the screen. So Weddle and Clark are both going to be guessing that it is going to be a run in that direction. The whole point of that play from the Chiefs was to try to create a gap that Williams can run through and pick up 5 yards or so. However, because the Ravens knew this play was going to be coming, Weddle was able to shoot that gap and able to make a tackle. While those few yards might not seem like a lot in the long run, this was actually huge. The Chiefs ended up missing the field goal as time expired, and who knows if they would have made it if they were 5 yards closer. Every little bit helps, and when you have a guy like Weddle, he helps you a little bit on just about every single play.
Real.